have to give them jobs. Gov Cuomo, Andrew, are you listening? Can you hear us up there? You state the state address. We need jobs. We need jobs.
We need jobs. We need jobs. We need jobs. We need jobs. We need jobs.
We need jobs.
We need jobs. We need jobs. We need jobs.
We're the Southerns here. This is where we need the jobs. We don't need the governor dangling the carrot in front of us with $1.5 billion and have a competition for growth. We need these jobs. We need these gas-related jobs, and we need them now.
With this ban in place for the foreseeable future, I guess what would be the practical use for this rally here today? Are you hoping for some action to come from this here today?
Yes, it really is to get the New York State people to actually wake up and what is really going on, the rates that they're going to be getting in their utility bills, what's going to happen. Natural gas is actually needed to have solar or to have any other form of wind energy. You have to have natural gas. Natural gas is something that the state is using. If there's really such an issue with it, why don't we turn the pipes off? Let's have all solar take over. Let's get real here. People need to wake up and see what's happening in this state and what's being taken away. The best opportunity that this state and this area is going to have, upstate. There isn't anything that he's talking about bringing in that's going to bring the opportunity of natural gas. And especially with our school taxes and helping lowering our school taxes. We're paying some of the highest rates there is anywhere in the country. There's nothing that's going to help lower that. Natural gas will.
Sorry for interrupting you there. So can you talk a bit about nationwide hydraulic fracturing happening in other states?
In 34 other states, they're actually producing natural gas. There's been over 1 million wells that have been fracked. All right, it's all been done safely. There's never been a well that's been polluted by fracking. It hasn't been done. I think that's one of the big issues that the health department had is they couldn't find anything anywhere where there are health issues that they're talking about. And that's what we see in this study. It's what might happen 20 years from now maybe that they want to look at, but there isn't anything there. There hasn't been anything. And it's being done safely all across the country. And as even Obama said last night, we need to work together as a nation. This practice that we're doing now with natural gas, with oil, has brought our country back, and we're actually succeeding now. We've got jobs coming in. The country is doing better, and it's because of the development of our energy. We need to continue to do that. New York State needs to be a part of it.
From a landowner perspective, how much money generally could a landowner expect to potentially make? I mean, obviously it's going to depend on their acreage and yada, yada, yada. And then what about this question of whether or not they would just sell out and move to Florida, or actually would we see this money that the landowners make recycled through our economy?
Well, they figure every dollar that's brought in, it could be 7 times. That dollar will actually expand out to other jobs, related businesses. Landowners in Pennsylvania, it's a perfect example to look at. They haven't left. They're there. They're fixing their properties. They're doing improvements. They're making things better. Farmers are actually doing, some of them they might change from doing dairy to doing some kind of organic food growing. And there has never been a problem in Pennsylvania with a person losing their organic license. That's something we've looked into and asked about because we want to protect our landowners. That's what we've been about, is protecting them. There hasn't been anybody losing their organic licenses. There hasn't been the issues that we continue to hear, the fear that's been put out here in New York State. You don't see it in Pennsylvania. And it's a difference between day and night. You go, it's like the Berlin Wall. You go over the border, look at what's going on in Pennsylvania, and then see what's happening in New York City. It's not.
So are you hopeful that Governor Cuomo will lift the ban, or are you more waiting for someone else to come into office? What's the hope?
I think what we've got to do is we're looking at other options right now, and maybe our federal government stepping in. And that's probably one of the biggest things we could have happen. Is as Obama said last night, This is definitely something that's been helping our nation, and it needs to continue. We need to work together as a nation to make it better.
So are there any steps being taken to involve the federal government right now, reaching out?
We've definitely been reaching out. You can hear Collins has been talking about actually doing some things. One of the members of our board actually went to the State of the Union last night with Reed to discuss things with congressmen there in Washington, D.C.
The unions see what we all see, and that's opportunity. The governor is talking about his opportunity agenda, but it's opportunity lost in New York. And the unions see it, the landowners see it, the businesses see it, the farmers see it. It's opportunity lost in New York.
Where do you stand on legal challenges? Are you filing suit against this decision? Where are you legally?
We're looking at all of our options, but we still have to wait for that final SGIS to come out in order to make our final decisions. But we are exploring other options federally. We were fortunate to have one of our members go to his State of the Union address last night with Congressman Reed. And we're proud that now Washington is looking at these issues, paying attention to what's happening in New York, and understanding that there are not only consequences to the Southern Tier, but consequences to the nation. President Obama has talked about how this has reduced our dependency on foreign oil. Imagine 10 years ago thinking, was that ever going to happen in our lifetime? And here we are. It's happening now because of American ingenuity. Opportunity brought to America, denied in New York.
The governor at one point alluded to the fact that he thought that the anti-fracking side had done a very good job getting their message out and mobilizing. Do you now see that if you're going to do anything to reverse this, you need to maybe take a page from them and hold more events such as this?
Well, we want everyone to stand up for the rights and make sure that the state understands that we will not stand for this loss of opportunity, this stealing of our property rights. The message on the other side has been easier. It's so much easier to scare than it is to educate. Our process has been to educate everybody about the benefits that are coming through this opportunity. They've simply tried to scare everybody, and it's been easier and successful.
How likely is it that the federal government will intervene in this situation?
Well, we know that our Congressman Reed and Congressman Collins are looking very close at this. They're looking at making takings actions easier so that although states have the right to do what they want, they can't take away our property rights because under the United States Constitution, we're entitled to be compensated when the government takes your property. That's what we have. We have a government taking of our private property rights. So we will see action coming from our federal government.
For your coalition, did the decision by the state, did it take, obviously it was disappointing to the members of the coalition, but did it take any wind out of their sails in terms of their willingness to come to events like this? Or do you feel you're just as united after the decision as you were before?
We saw in our rally just a couple weeks ago, probably the largest gathering that we've had, 600 to 700 of our landowners, union members, farmers, businessmen came to protest the fact that the governor has taken away this opportunity. So we are emboldened. We will continue to work hard. We will continue to fight for our rights and fight for our communities.
Daddy, there aren't any jobs.
No jobs.
There's no jobs, Dad. And you know what? There was nothing I had to say to that. I didn't have an answer because there weren't any jobs. What could I point to? Our area was already going downhill back in 1990. And what's happened in the last, well, now it's 25 years. 25 years have come and gone, and what do we got? We got nothing. We got nothing.
We need that tax relief, and this industry will bring that tax relief through ad valorem. It's a big amount of money. It could actually cut all of our school taxes more than in half. And that's the kind of relief we really need to have. We need the jobs. Also, we need the tax relief for our towns, our communities, and for Broome County and the other counties that will have gas drilling in it. Your schools won't need to have the state aid. It can go to other places where they'll need that. I think that's some of the biggest issues of all that I see with this failed ideas that Cuomo continues to come up with. This whole upstate and state program that he's talking about, where he's going to bring in these jobs and they don't have to pay taxes for 10 years. The people don't have to pay taxes. Who's going to pay the taxes to make up for that? It's us. It's the people that live here in New York State and have lived here, the businesses that have been here. Those businesses are going to continue to leave. They're not going to continue to do that. We pay the highest taxes in the country. We pay high utility rates, higher than, I think it's the only state is Hawaii that pays higher than us. The programs he's talking about with solar and all this stuff he's going to do, great ideas, but we're not there yet. They can't even be done without natural gas. You have to have natural gas to do them.
I don't understand how he continues to think that these programs are going to work. He's going to bankrupt the state. In years down the road, when history looks at what Cuomo has done, it'll be the disaster of New York State. And it'll show that. It kind of reflects the same thing back in Pennsylvania years ago when the car industry tried to go there, and Pennsylvania turned them down and they ended up going to Detroit. What did Pennsylvania lose? That's history's going to show with this. If he doesn't change it, doesn't change what's happening, he's going to bankrupt this state.
Let's talk about opportunity. Right? My grandparents were here. This was the land of opportunity when they came here. The saying was, which way, EJ? My grandparents, when IBM was here, they would say, don't go downtown because the IBM traffic is too heavy. You been down to any kind lately? How's the opportunity down there today? It's not there. Right? We need to return our community to the land of opportunity. Let's get it. It's amazing that this governor is talking about the opportunity agenda. You have got to be kidding me. We're not asking for a distribution of tax dollars. Give us back what we are paying. We're asking for opportunity. It's here under our feet. We see it throughout the nation. We see the President of the United States talking about how we are now an energy superpower. You can imagine 10 years ago thinking that we were going to be able to reverse this tide and reduce our dependency on foreign oil. Has anybody here thought that we were going to do that?
No.
We did that because of American ingenuity. American ingenuity created this. Now we have opportunity. Now we have energy security. We are here. We have been able to accomplish those opportunities and bring it to everywhere in the nation except here. How is that possible? Every one of you, you're absolutely right about what you're doing. The thing is, 35 governors in this nation say you're right. The EPA, they say you're right. The President of the United States, he says you're right. We are right, and we have got to continue to fight for opportunity, fight for our rights, and never give up. Never give up.
Never give up.